Welcome to the Art of Money podcast with Art McPherson.
And thanks for checking out the Art of Money podcast. My name is Mark Owens alongside Art McPherson and Luke McCarty. All the information for the McPherson Financial Group, you can find it at theartofmoneyradio.com. We are now joined by the McPherson Financial Group in-house CPA, Mark Bernard, hanging out with us this weekend. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
For those that are just checking out the Art of Money, and you hear us say, and we've said it many times on the show, that the McPherson Financial Group has an in-house CPA, and that being yourself. What exactly is it that a CPA does, and what do you do for the McPherson Financial Group?
So we have a program called the Financial Planning Program, which includes getting tax returns done, as well as doing mid-year and possibly end-of-the-year reviews of your tax situation. So I'm currently in the middle of meeting with all of our clients, financial planning clients, and we are looking to see what's different from last year and what do we have to be prepared for when we file your returns.
So one of the things that he's trying to evaluate is planning, if you noticed what he said. So, doing your return is just doing your tax return. That's, being prepared for your tax return for the year. But that's not really planning. That's just, okay, did all your 1099s come in? Did all of your statements come in? Do you have your things recorded correctly? You can't plan at that point. Now it's just really administratively, maybe a few deductions here or there kind of thing, but the planning is got to be forecasted forward. So we want to make sure that our clients have the opportunity to make position changes. Can they take advantage of our current laws? Can they take advantage of their current situation? So Mark's got a lot of expertise there because he's also got he's really a tax attorney. So he's not only a CPA, he's also a tax attorney. So he's got a high level of knowledge there that we want to make sure that our clients can take advantage of.
So one of the big things that we like to look at is maximizing your Social Security benefits. Is there a way that we can plan for the future income cash flows that we can try to get Social Security to be lower taxed or not even taxed at all? And one of the ways that we can do that is taking advantage of President Trump's tax cuts that are currently in place and looking at how much traditional IRA money, qualified money, deferred income money sitting in these IRA accounts. It doesn't make sense to trigger those early by doing a ROTH conversion, where it goes into the Roth and sits there tax-free for the rest of their life. So when they start collecting Social Security during their retirement years, the go-go years, maybe there's a position where the only income that's possibly taxable is your Social Security income, and we're able to avoid the tax on that.
Yeah, so one of the things that Mark is always evaluating is, are there things we can do? Because we know when they get age 72, they're going to be required to do a required minimum distribution. So typically, if someone's retiring at traditional retirement at age of 65, they have about 7 years to do some planning to make sure they can be in what Mark calls the perfect income or the perfect tax return, where you get your income low enough that you don't have to pay any tax on your Social Security. You don't have any IRMA issues with your Medicare because you have to be careful of how much income you have annually, or you can pay more for your supplements. So he's watching all those kind of things to make sure our clients fall in that kind of perfect zone, or in a zone that is the lowest possible tax for them.
And we put together spreadsheets and analysis to look at what your future tax rates are going to be and what they would be if we're converting right now, and as well as what they would be without doing a conversion. We like to arm the people with all the information. We give advice on it, but we want to make sure people understand as much as possible what it is that we're getting into.
Mark, you mentioned it about some conversions. Talk to me about some Roth conversions. Would it be a good time to take advantage of that right now?
So we really like them right now in particular, not only if it makes sense to try to get your Social Security lower, reduced taxes or no taxes, but also with the pullback in the market, a lot of people are doing Roth conversions to try to capture the upswing and the bounce back in the market. Because if you move your equities that have taken some losses in your IRA, convert it into the Roth and invest in those same equities, and the bounce back that comes with that, you might be able to capture a lot of gain here in the next year.
Yeah, and you're not having to pay tax on that conversion because it's down right now. So you take advantage of a market correction, convert during the correction, and as it bounces back, now all of those future gains, all those capital gains, all those dividends are now tax-free.
And Mark, talk to me a little bit about what you're helping the small businesses in the community. How are you helping them with some tax strategies?
Well, it's mainly making sure that you capture all your deductions. So we have a lot of people that are sole proprietors. They're operating businesses out of their house and doing, various levels of business work and generating business income. I have found that people aren't taking all the deductions they should be taking. they're also not doing enough to make sure that they're audit proof. So if you're driving a lot of miles, keep a log of the miles that you drive. So if the IRS comes asking, you have a written proof of what you did during that time.
We were doing some analysis, and I had a client, and then we took his return. He had prior used TurboTax, many, many years. And we found that he had an extra $3,000 in deductions that he could take that didn't come up with TurboTax. And I said, can you imagine, just for the sake of convenience, if, half the people that do their tax returns are doing TurboTax and everybody's paying an extra $3,000, how much extra tax that actually is being paid that doesn't have to be paid? I said, that's a pretty big number.
Mark, that's a good question that Art led into there, because what is your take on the Robo-Advisors or the online forms to help fill out and put plans together? Because I know there's some pros and cons to it, but for someone in your field, how do you feel about using that Robo-Advisor?
Well, I think for a lot of people, they make sense. You have a simple return and you're able to get through the interview process or the questionnaire process and get an accurate return. But once you start adding rental real estate or sole proprietor business income, there's a little bit more level of complexity that goes with those returns. And I don't know if there's a software that can answer all those specific personal questions.
And I'll be honest with you, Mark, too, there's something about the personalization of sitting down face-to-face, one-on-one. You're going to ask me questions that I'm not going to think about. 772-281-5223. That's how you reach out to the team at the McPherson Financial Group.
Hey, Mark, let's do something.
Okay.
Let's give away the first 5 callers. Let's give away the book, Nothing is Certain But Death and Taxes Until Now, since we're talking about taxes. Let's do that.
Perfect. All right. The book is called Nothing is Certain But Death and Taxes Until Now. 772-281-5223. Tell the representative you want a copy of the book, and we'll get it out to you. And when you bring in the book, Art McPherson will autograph it for you as well. Hey, Mark Bernard, we were talking about small businesses a couple of seconds ago. Have you seen the community bounce back from COVID? Does everyone seem to be getting back out on their feet?
It seems like things are getting a lot busier. Folks are bringing back some of their ingenuity and how to make money as a sole proprietor. We are blessed to be in Florida, where I don't know if COVID actually existed here, but so I don't know if it looks as upswing as it may in other states that have really shut it down. But yes, we have seen more people getting out there and being entrepreneurial.
Well, we did shut down for 2 months, but yeah, New York and California that shut down for over a year, a little bit harder on some of those people out in that area for sure.
They tried to put mask mandates back in LA County. Even though their politics lean pretty left out there, even the residents said, no, we're not doing that again. And they rescinded the mask mandate. So
nice.
Yeah, a little bit of common sense out in LA, but for the great state of Florida, pretty much been open. But if you are a small business owner and you need to take a look at your tax strategy, give Mark Bernard a call, 772-281-5223. He is the in-house CPA for Art McPherson and the team at the McPherson Financial Group. And finally, Mark Bernard, is there anything that we can do right now for our tax strategy as we get ready for, they'll be here before before the holidays get here?
Yeah, look and see what your situation is. As we were talking about before, ROTH conversions make a lot of sense if you have the right mix of income. The other thing is there's a lot of capital losses going on right now because the market's down. So there's a strategy where you can actually sell something that has a big gain on it, use that gain to offset the losses that are generated from the stock market being down, and get a step-up basis in some shares that you may have been holding for decades. So we have a client that has some shares that they got while they were working. It's done incredibly well over the last 20 years, and we're looking to go ahead and try to get them a step-up basis by using some of the losses that have inherently occurred because the market's down.
Yeah, just anything you can do that's why sometimes people have a tough time with TurboTax, and that's why I said that, or the robo-advising, because that's just one small example. And in Mark, I've seen him when he's with our clients, he'll ask about 5 questions. Hey, did you do this? Did you do this? And out of about 3 of the 5, they're usually no. Didn't know I could. Right. And so, those are things that are being missed because they didn't know they were options for them because of their income level or because just didn't know to ask the question. We're all experts in our field, and when you're an expert in taxation, when you're a layman in taxation, you don't always know the right question to ask the tax person. So, and the worst time to ask, hey, what do I do to prep is tax day, because that CPA is overwhelmed just trying to get your return done, and the other 150 people he's working with. So that's not the right time to ask for tax advice. But during the middle of the year and so forth, that's what we're doing. That's why we're focused on it, because there's some definite strategies that can be done throughout the calendar year to prepare for next year, and then also the current calendar year, and then 3, 4, 5 years out, especially if you're in income planning zone where you're now retired, taking distributions, and how do we effectively take those distributions to be the most tax efficient?
It's the importance of having that tax strategy. It's something we preach every weekend here on The Art of Money. Well, Mark Bernard, hey, thanks for hanging out with us this weekend. I know you're spending a lot of time with the family, and I know you always stay busy, but appreciate you taking some time out and talking to the audience.
Thanks for the time, Mark.
You can meet Mark Bernard, the entire team for the McPherson Financial Group, artofmoneyradio.com. And there's nothing wrong with asking questions about your tax strategy. Whether you're an individual getting close to that retirement red zone or a small business owner, give the team a call at 772-281-5223 and get a complimentary copy of Art McPherson's book, Nothing is Certain But Death and Taxes. Until now.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com. We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson. Florida Insurance License number A174725.
Today's show has been a work of art.